Hello and welcome to the highlights video of the GT3 race on rFactor 2, hosted by Sim Racing Mania. Waiting for the green flag in the Hungaroring, 75-minute race, and away we go. Green flag has fallen and we are moving at full speed, side by side with David Ragni. We are in the red and grey Porsche in the back there, and side by side with the red and black Porsche. We gained one position here simply by the rFactor's issues, where Antti has lost the connection and has fallen back in order. And we are now P10, going side by side with number 13, who is Jordan, and is right in front of us. We have to back out from that attempt, and this gives Ragni an excellent opportunity, which he does not waste at all, and slips by us, and we are back down to P11. However, we keep in tight connection with the Porsche in the front and try to pile on the pressure as much as possible. The lap 1, so the field is still bunched up. We are also being pressured behind by Jesse and the grey and blue McLaren. But at this point we are trying to not focus on the car behind, but focus on the car in front, follow it as closely as possible, make our car in their mirrors as big as possible, so and hopefully to force a driver into a mistake. As the field is still bunched up, the car in front has to back out a little bit from turn 13, which gives us a little bit of a run out of turn 14 and last turn, but unfortunately it will not be enough. Just a better exit by David in front, and a bad exit on our part allows David to extend the gap a little bit, not allowing us to have a move into turn 1. But we still keep in very close proximity, trying to force that mistake. Hungaroring is a very twisty track and a very tricky track to overtake on. There's very little opportunities where you can go for a move, especially when the field is so bunched up, when still everyone has the draft from front. And you do really need to force a mistake from the driver to maybe get a chance of making that position. So we are at this point attempting to retake the P10, as we are a little bit quicker on the pace at this moment of the race, but yeah, overtaking will not be easy. Number 55 is keeping it on the road, no mistakes so far. But we are constantly under its rear spoiler or rear wing, and the mistake into turn 13 running wide gives us an excellent opportunity to sneak up the inside, and we managed to do just that, and around the outside in turn 14, and we are ahead, steaming on. And the hunt is on for the white and yellow BMW. Couple of laps pass and we become under pressure from Jessie from behind, from her grey and blue McLaren. Shows the car in the mirrors, but we are able to fend off the attack and continue chasing Jordan in front. This has now become a battle for P8, but the Corvette in the wall has relegated all of us, and this has now become a battle for P7. 4 cars, very close proximity, a nice little train forming. And as before, all of us just trying to extort pressure on one another, hoping for someone to make a mistake so that we can exploit it, jump on the opportunity as quickly as possible. Following very closely behind, don't want to leave any possible mistake by the driver in front wasted, because if you are too far back, they may recover and you just cannot bounce. So very close following is mandatory. The straights on Hungaroring are very short. As you can see here, it's just barely accelerating and you're already heavily back on the brakes. An opportunity here again when Jordan runs a little bit wide. We try to force him over the wide line. Now we are side by side going into the final turn. And Jesse is on our inside. Loses out slightly and we drift out, losing the momentum a little bit, which extends the gap between our little train fighting for P7. And Jordan has a kick of oversteer coming out of turn 1, but still we are not close enough to make a move down into turn 2, so we still tuck behind the rear bumper of the BMW and continue to pile on the pressure, hoping that the driver in front cracks and makes more mistakes, which would give us an opportunity to pass. And another kick of oversteer. Unfortunately, again, not much that we can do at this point, except again tuck in under the rear wing and follow closely as possible through the twisty turns of Hungaroring, and hopefully we will get a run down the home straight and more slides. Very close this time, but again, now we run a little wide, have to lift off, and we lose ground a little bit, unfortunately. So even when extorting pressure on the driver in front, this is also pressure on you when you are trying to put the driver under pressure, like here. I make another mistake, run wide, which gives a little bit of a breathing room to Jordan in front. But unfortunately, as we turn into the last corner, he also runs wide, which gives us an excellent run, and we are able to start making a move. And we will be just inches apart, moving down at full throttle of the home straight. And as Jordan moves to the racing line, we are still on the inside and are able to take P8 this time. And we immediately come under attack from Jordan again. Both run a little bit wide into turn 2, but still keep it in bounds. And Jesse tries to exploit that as soon as possible, but unfortunately we are able to stay in front. And we are now up to P8. Of course, the roles have now reversed. Jordan is now piling on the pressure onto us, and P7 has extended the gap a little bit from our fight, which has slowed us down a little bit, so we have a couple of seconds to catch up, but we are pedal to the metal, trying to close the gap again and hopefully push for P7 as well. As we're approaching the final or the penultimate turn, we make a mistake on the exit and we're just inches from hitting the wall, just about managed to save it there. And we are back down to P10. All that work from the start up to this point has been thrown out the window. We are again back in P10, lost ground, and have to do it all over again, and then at the same time are under pressure from the Corvette behind us. But just a couple of laps onward, we catch our little train actually catches up to P6 in front, where Jordan has a snap of oversteer on the exit, allowing Jesse to slip by, and we follow in the draft. Tiny bit of late braking, and luckily Jordan there saw us coming, left the room, and we are continuing with the race. Another look down turn 2, again a little bit late on the brakes. I unfortunately hit Jordan here, which sent him into a slide, but luckily his skill allowed him to continue the race, and we continue on. Both survive to fight another lap. Trying to draft down the home straight to gain some ground against the BMW, but unfortunately not enough. And yeah, let's go for a full lap of Hungaroring from the BMW's perspective, from the BMW bumper's perspective actually. Where it is very obvious how you again gain ground and lose ground throughout the lap, but still trying to keep close. Again, Jordan runs wide, but again, nothing we can do, but it does allow us to get right under its rear wing again, over the sausage curbs in the chicane, almost tapping the rear of the BMW. Again, hoping to provoke some mistake from the driver in front. But Jordan is doing just too good of a job, keeping it tight through turn 13. Running again wide a little bit on turn 14, which might give us a run down the home straight. Tuck into the draft, close up, go right, go left. Doors closing, switch to the other side. The Corvette leaving the pits distracts me just a tiny bit, just enough for me to miss the braking point at full speed, which now allows Antti, who has fought all the way back to the front, to be now extorting pressure on us. This is what I wanted to avoid. I wanted to get past Jordan so badly so that I could relieve the pressure a little bit and not have Antti on my rear bumper, but unfortunately my failed attempt has done just that. It allowed Antti to close to my rear bumper even sooner, and now I'm under pressure, making mistakes, running wide, but again Antti is unable to use that mistake to his advantage yet. And we are bumper to bumper, two classic liveried Porsches. Thank you, Antti, for the awesome livery. It is really a masterpiece. But I wish you haven't pressured me so much, but that's racing. As you can see, running wide everywhere, making mistake after mistake, as my eyes are more than not glued to the rear view mirror, trying to predict when the inevitable attack will happen. I have a pretty bad run through the final corner. Maybe this will give Antti the run that he needs in my slipstream down the home straight. But we are able to hold the position for now. Antti shows himself in the mirror, and sure enough, the pressure was enough. I make another mistake. I lose the rear and also lose the position to the Corvette, and we are unfortunately back down to P12. Desperate now, angry with myself. I want those positions back. I make a huge mistake coming out of the final turn and hit the wall quite hard, enough to damage the suspension, enough to damage the aero, forcing me to return to pits to repair some damage because the front did just not bite anymore. I could not get the car turned in anymore as I wanted to. Pit happened sooner than I expected, so swapping from hard tires onto medium tires instead of softs as initially intended. And of course, additionally make another mistake. I miss my pit box and lose the engine. So have to restart the engine, reverse a tiny bit and start the pit timer, swapping tires, adding a little bit of fuel, and most importantly fixing the damage. We are out of the pits in P23, just behind Thomas Holzel in the Sky Ferrari up in front. Way down the order, not what we want to see. But in a couple of laps we catch up with Thomas and are now right under the Ferrari's rear wing, trying to get back in front and chase the pack in front again as quickly as possible. Medium tires still fresh, working good, giving us the grip that we need. And a scary moment when Thomas has a bit of a lag spike or something. It teleports the car a little bit backward. We almost hit it, but luckily we are able to continue. The moment did shake me up a little bit, but continued piling on the pressure, hoping to force Thomas into a mistake. And coming out of turn 11, we will just have that opportunity where Thomas is a little bit slow and we get an excellent exit. Thomas does not fight it too much and we sneak down the inside. The rest of the race was pretty uneventful while chasing the pack and trying to regain ground from the damage repair and the botch pit stop. My tires, or I should say I have destroyed the tires. They have given out and we unfortunately couldn't make any more positions up except for those in the pits. And our finishing position is P13. We are just behind the back marker here. On the final lap, about to enter the final turn for the final time. The Hungaroring race is over. And our first race at Sim Racing Mania, and we got a P13. Wanted to get a better result. Wanted to be at least in the top 10. But with a little bit of misfortune and a couple of mistakes, this is unfortunately the best that we could salvage. Still P13, not a bad result. Had a lot of fun fighting the cars and the drivers in the beginning of the race. Was a really fun experience and would like to thank all the Sim Racing Mania admins and organizers for organizing such a fun race. Another thank you to Auntie for the awesome livery. I loved it the whole time and I will continue to love it in the next races to come. And yeah, this was Hungaroring Race 1 of the GT Masters over at Sim Racing Mania. Thank you for watching, and the regular YouTuber stuff, as you know, like, subscribe, all that. And yeah, thank you everyone. Have an awesome day, awesome night, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and bye bye.